My dear YouTube community, I'm back. I want to talk about narcissistic relationships, be it of your parents or be it a partner, how it feels putting boundaries, what has it to do with me, if I can put boundaries or if I can't, if you want to change the relationship, the grief of no contact and of using positive affirmations at the moments you want to change your inner self. Act if though it was impossible to fail. Welcome to my YouTube community. I'm Christinajunge, love and leadership mentor. If you'd like to, you can subscribe to my channels. I'd love to have your comments, and I'm getting right into it. How does it feel putting boundaries to a narcissistic person? What does it have to do with me? Everything, I tell ya. What has it to do with me? If you have grown up with a narcissistic person, a narcissistic parent, maybe you have siblings in your relationship, maybe you are right now or you have been in a narcissistic partnership. It has only to do with you in the end. If you can get out of it or if you can't. And it has to do only with the limits you are putting, with the boundaries you are putting, and if you believe yourself. And when you don't believe yourself, this has to do with your self-love, with everything you feel is right or not right inside of you. And it's not knowing. It's not that you would know things are this or that way. It is just that you feel it. It's kind of inside, not only the box. I always talk about this safe I'm having here, which is all like my childhood abuse stories, all the negativity I have packed in there once I couldn't, back then when I couldn't distinguish where it comes from, how is right and wrong, how things have to go, or I didn't have information about it. So I put everything into this box, which I couldn't make sense of, and I'm all like, oh my God, this is all in here. What am I going to be doing with this? This is kind of like popping up things, popping up negative emotions, popping up things. I don't understand why they are there, and they are always reflected to me, always in relationship to others and in relationship to myself. So if you are an anxious person, a depressive person, if you are a person who is insecure, if you're a person who is much confused, if you're a person who disconnects with your emotions or with reality, if you're a person who's living in a fantasy world maybe, which is just safe enough for you to be, this might have much to do with things you have put aside, which I call them being here in this safe, in this box, and which is all full with negative emotions we didn't have a chance to deal with in our past. And if it was that you were growing up, let's get back to narcissistic relationships. If you were growing up with a narcissistic person, which has you always inside of the pull and push dynamics of pulling you close and baiting you into the relationship to only then get you under where they feel bad, okay, to get you sad, to get you in reality also angry, although you might not feel the anger anymore, who will get you full of anxiety, who will get you abandoned, leaves you abandoned in the end, who will never be there for you, who will never put love into you, who will never uplift you, who will always only uplift herself or himself, who is grandiose, who has these two faces, one towards your victim, your person, which is yourself, which is the victim personality in the game, and towards the outside, where these people are greatly recognized many times, and where they are greatly empathetic too, where they are greatly applauded too. So the relationship is a really, let's say, confusing relationship. Let's put it at least like this. And there's many aspects you might not have understood until now, because I'm going to tell you now. In all my other videos, you can check them out, talking about narcissistic dynamics, and have left you confused about who you are, how good you are as a person, how lovable you are, what your worth is, what your capability of reaching towards your goals and of getting them is, okay, and how your personal dignity and possibly too your integrity is. So you might be very confused about this. If you are really this bad person, this narcissistic person needs you to be, because you're not, but needs you to be, for them to feel you definitely always under their felt victim state, because these people do feel like victims, okay, but they choose to not show it, they choose to not work with it, they choose to not contact it, which is a human trait. We're trying to get out of, you do this too, I do this too, we're trying to not connect to this box of being victimized, of not being able to grow, to be loved, to be worthy, to be full of dignity, And so we try to not contact there, but this is in reality the only way for you now, when you want to set boundaries to a narcissistic person, to make contact to what is coming up at the moment. You are trying to or put boundaries or to get into no contact with a person who is either living with you or has lived with you, or let's say parental relationships where you no longer live with these people, but who have like the grip on you still, emotionally the grip on you, and who are painting themselves as victims at the moment they notice that you are going out of the relationship where you assume to be the victim, the guilty one, the one who caused all this, the one who's not worthy, the one who's never lovable, etc. All right? So if you want to put boundaries, if you want to set those limits, they are only inside of me, my limits, okay? They are only inside of you. And it's going to be very hard to put limits you don't believe yourself, okay? You are worthy of, If you put limits to a person you are seeking love from, you are seeking approval from, or maybe all life long already, not only like in a partnership right now, when you get out of this relationship, your entire identity of, let's say, no identity, because identity is I'm belonging to something. So you have belonged to narcissistic people who have abused of you, who have pickpacked on you, who have left you empty, who have played with your emotions, always in a way that you will always stay confused of who you are and how good you are and how you are capable of reaching things or being, let's say, an agent of change, of whatever you want to do or be or are setting yourself to, to do or be. And they will play on that. They will use this because they feel once you are in those dynamics that you are getting confused again, they know they have you again. And the only work you can do to be able to be strong and following up on your the limits you're setting, the boundaries you're setting, and especially when you're going into no contact, like not being able anymore to have like any kind of feedback from these people, so everything stays in the limbo, in the non-spoken, in the not felt, and where your head is gonna click on and do all these rounds and rounds and rounds, what is possibly going on, instead of, and now we're getting to it, instead of giving yourself now the love this person has never given to you and will never give to you. So your task is right now to enter into a practice of self-love, of self-soothing, of grieving once you are out of the relationship, once you are in no contact, once you do set the boundaries which are necessary for you to be able to get your independency again, to get into a state of identity, because these people have robbed you of your identity, and because they needed you to be completely subdued, to be completely under them, to be a victim all the time, for them to feel greater, for them to feel there's somebody who is guilty of them feeling bad, because in reality they feel bad, they do feel bad, okay? And for you to fill up this void, this grief, this nothing, this emptiness, this loneliness, this abandonment, the anxiety, to be there for yourself. You need to be there for yourself at the moment these emotions are coming up, and you need to fill yourself now with love, with approval, with affirmations, with taking care of this. We call this inner child, which is you yourself, which is all your strong emotions. This is like a child which lives inside of you, which has lived all those dynamics and has gotten stuck there, emotionally, and doesn't get forward because nobody told her or him how to get out of it and how to take care of themselves. All right? So you need to be there for this child. You need to be there for yourself, and to soothe yourself, to be present, to enter this emotional world once you are putting boundaries, once you are setting limits, once you are going into no contact, which could cause a great deal of anxiety, because you are so dependent on these people giving you these crumbs of love, which never will be love, which you never will be filled with. Besides that, you anyways will never be filled with love from outside. Love is something we learn who we are in a relationship with ourselves while we grow up, and while we understand from what others reflect to us from outside towards us during our upbringing, who we are, how much worth we have, how much appreciated we are, how much approval we get for who we are, or if we only get approval if we do something for them, or taking on us the guilt, or taking on us the anxiety those people are managing and not showing and just transmitting to us, okay? Or repeating maybe their roles of abandonment, of isolation, of disconnectedness, and they all repeated this on us. So you are now the person who needs to get in contact with yourself, with this inner child, with this box of emotions, and fill this anew up, new. Again, it's not again, because there's not so much in there, but there are elements in there which you also need to recognize, where there were persons in your life who were filling up this box of love. I'd say this subconscious feeling or perceiving that there is something in you which has identity, which has the right to, which has the love that you need, that you are somebody. There's always a great deal of this information in our subconscious too, but if this is overlaid with ideas of that I am not enough worth, or if this is more predominant in how I perceive myself or in how others perceive me, or how I project myself into this world in an insecure way, in a way expecting to be abandoned, in a way expecting to be abused of, in a way that people can do with me what they want to. People notice that. So I am going to be the one who needs to fill up this subconscious thinking and feeling and perceiving and acting accordingly, that I will get this reflected from my relationships, okay? That I will receive this from the outside in return, okay? It is not first. It is first that you have it, that you expect to be treated like this, that you treat yourself the way you have learned how people treat you. But you can fill up this love, and once you have this love, and once you fill it up slowly, not you have it. It's not there's like an 1-0 binary thing that you have love and you haven't. You just need to fill this up little by little and be consistent in it and understand when dynamics are going to come into the game where you are abandoning yourself, where you believe other people or abusive people that they were right supposedly, and that they would be the people who would fill up your tank of love, which never will be like this, okay? You need to do this yourself, filling up yourself with self-love. At the moment you get into setting boundaries, into putting limits, and even more when you're getting into no contact, you also need to get in contact with the grief, which is going to be coming up at that moment. That you will, if you do it right, and if you hold your space there, be there for yourself, be present for yourself, dive into your emotions without getting stuck in them, but being there and seeing where they originated, how that makes you feel, without running, without asking somebody to fill this up again, but filling this up now for you. And you will get in contact with this emptiness and with this sadness which all this has caused, and into a process of grieving, of a process of loss, as if somebody has died. If you go into no contact, this is like a process of really losing a person, where you have felt this person would give love to you, and this person did give some love and contact to you, but the idea is that your self-love tank was not filled enough to understand, to be, let's put it like this, to be sufficiently independent of how much love she or he would give you, because you can fill it up yourself, because you understand that you are the only person who can fill this up for yourself by affirmations, by watching in the mirror, seeing yourself in the mirror and saying, you are so beautiful, I love you so much, you are so fine, you can do this, I'll be there for you, I will defend you, okay? I will not allow that anybody would ever hurt you again. I promise you. Make this promise to yourself. And get into this self-love talk whenever you think about yourself. If you fail or if you don't fail. If you fail, you say, it doesn't matter. We're going the stretch together. I'll be there with you. Next time you do better, no problem. Okay? You're being this patient person who's going to accompany now basically yourself, this child, be this wonderful mother, teacher, grandmother, and whatever you can feel is right for you, Don't use abusive persons, to do this imagery. And to really take care of yourself as if you would be the nicest, most beautiful, most cherishable being in this world, and that you are going to be showing up fully for this person and protecting this person and listening what this person needs. Okay, this child, let's put it like this, or you as a person, if this works better for you. And not to get stuck in those emotions, If you want to grieve, grieve. If you need to cry, cry. But then you get out, and then you get into positive thinking. You reaffirm that you will not leave yourself anymore hanging, that you will put the boundaries you or this child will need in the process, that you will cry and feel the loss, and feel the abandonment, and feel this emptiness, and feel whatever you had to let go of, all these images and all this not like this empty identity you were having, and now you fill it up and be there for yourself, okay? If you can put boundaries, if you can hold no contact, it's because of you. It's you haven't filled up this person inside of you, which is full of love, full of dignity, full of being useful, full of independence, and it's not this independence of, I'm not going to do this, and I don't need anybody. No, it's like this beautiful independence of people who are not doing good to you, and this commitment to yourself to get around people who will be there to support you, to love you, to cheer you on, to tell you can do it. Maybe those relationships won't be that intense as this narcissistic relationship to be, but these people are going to be there, especially if you look for them, and if you manifest them, if you declare them to be there for you, and to maintain yourself in this positive self-talk, and to feel it, how this feels, how disrupted you are once you get into this relationship of confusion and of back and forth and victimization, and this person getting you under them all the time, and you being the guilty one, and you being the one who's responsible for everything, but there's only negativity, and then there's a little bit of baiting you into the relationship that you don't notice what's going on. And to start getting out of this confusing feeling, and getting into this feeling good of where you want to go, where you hold yourself, where you love yourself, where you are all one, where you are all full of dignity, full of identity, full of future projects, where you are full of passion for something, where you live all your talents, where you have clear standards and principles, right? Where you have your values, and where you say, no, to me, nobody talks like that to me. I'm sorry. I might be lonely now, I might be crying, but I'm not going to be dependent on somebody who's going to let me down all the time. And I have my standards, how people can talk to me. I'm sorry. Be like this a little bit, do the, no. Oh no, you're not going to treat me like this. Get into this, like this theater game, into this acting with yourself and with others to lift up your inner boundaries, to lift up your standards, to lift up who you really think you are and what you are deserving in this world to be and to be held for, And to see what's happening once you are starting with this self-love, see what's happening in the outside world. It will reflect it to you. These people will try to pull you in, and that's going to go really crazy. They're going to get out their weapons. You can make sure, if you notice that, you're up for something dark there, But also know that you will, at the moment, you're cutting loose from the darkness, which is they want you to be there because you were their identity of being good people because you were bad, okay? Once you cut loose, they know. But you need to find people and know this. Don't discard this, Don't say I just said it like this, Once people are talking to you like you're so nice, you're so lovable, everything's so beautiful around you, you're so patient, you're so blah, 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 blah. What people all say to you, say, thank you. And then you say, thank you. You feel you deserve it, and it's not strange anymore. And to go this way of self-affirmation, of grieving and no contact, of holding your place once you're getting into setting boundaries and getting out of the dynamics, and be really strong, and don't like flagellate yourself once, whip yourself once you fall back and get up again, like how do you say, get your feathers in order, do this and keep going. The path you have understood you need to go, and don't criticize yourself. Don't get down on yourself now the way they have done, but be there for yourself. Accompany yourself, support yourself, be suave with yourself, love yourself, lift yourself up. Okay? Act if though it was impossible to fail. Do this for yourself. Okay? I hope this was helpful for you. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you're much welcome. Check out the videos which are coming up. It might just be one video which is coming up on the end screen, and leave me your comments. I'm absolutely curious to know about you. If you want to apply for coaching, I can put you on the waiting list. Write to me at christinajunge.com. Love to hear from you, and keep the good spirit, the faith up. God is with you. He wants you to be all love and loved and live your talents. Don't crunch, don't think you can't do it. There's somebody at your side who wants you to do this. All right? Check out the video which is coming up.